that? Is you a bit scooliff? Hopefully I'm not looking like a ghost again. I keep filming myself on this thing and I keep ending up looking like a bloody ghost. I know I'm pale, but Jesus wept. So, greetings folks. I'm in the more informal setting of my couch in the living room this afternoon to do this one for you. I have been watching videos this past few days of top 10 horror performances. So far I have seen the originator of this, I don't think it started as a tag, but it is now, Shawn Erschen from the Horror Corner. He started this one off, and I've watched Jen from Jen's Reviews from the Grave, I have watched David's from David Diggs, and I have watched Shann's from RustingWillpower. Now, obviously when you take that many people that like horror as much as they do and have the knowledge of horror that they have, most of the good answers are going to be taken. So, please understand that I've tried as possible to keep my answers to different ones that I love that haven't already been mentioned. So I will go down a couple that I couldn't not mention that have already been mentioned, so let's make them my special mentions. I would have most definitely chosen Toni Collette from Hereditary, but that was chosen a couple of times. Silence of the Lambs, both Anthony Hopkins and Jodie Foster. That's one of my favourite movies. Those are two of my favourite performances in horror. Again, that was mentioned more than once. Jack Nicholson and Shelley Duvall in The Shining. These ones are really obvious answers, guys, because they're so good. They're so iconic. They are amazing. They're fantastic. And of course, they've been mentioned already. One which David mentions, which is one of my favourites, and I don't hear it mentioned enough, is Jennifer Carpenter in The Exorcism of Emily Rose. I just feel what she does with that role and how creepy it is absolutely fabulous. So kudos to her. So the rest, oh sorry, Ripley in Aliens is my favourite. I'm going to see a screening of it on Friday night. Very much looking forward to it. So obviously, who the hell's the actress that plays Ripley? What's her name? You know when you have a brain fart about an actor or actress's name? It's gone. It's gone. Ripley from Aliens. Just iconic female horror role. Brilliant. So this list of my 10 favourites are in no order apart from number 1. I'm shocked and stunned that no one has mentioned my favourite horror performance yet. One that I also love that Jen mentioned while I'm on it is David Howard Thornton as Art the Clown. I completely agree with her. People say, but he doesn't talk. Exactly. That's why. Because he manages to get across that character, which has entered the hearts of so many horror fans. He's another one of the great icons now. And it's hard to do that. It's hard to get yourself into that space without uttering a bloody word. Art the Clown, I love him. I love his sense of fun. He's sadistic. He's just fantastic. So David Howard Thornton, as well as being an incredibly wonderful human being, Art the Clown, thumbs up. Apologies if I've moved, I just had to go onto the door. So, where did we get to? So these are in no order apart from my number 1, which we will work up to, and most people probably already know anyway. So, I've got another special mention here at the bottom actually. Now, unfortunately I've picked a few actors that I don't know how their names are pronounced, so this is going to be fun. So Anya, or Anja, Anya Plaszczyk, from The Devil's Bath. She plays Agnes. It was my, I think, number 2 favourite movie last year. This is like a German, apologies for the creaking, Isaac's just got back from his guitar lesson. It's a German folktale. I do like slow burns. I like folk type horror. Her performance in that is absolutely fantastic. So if you haven't seen The Devil's Bath, it is slow, but I encourage you to check it out. Do you like my Christmas pen? Yes, I'm very mature. So on to the top 10. At number 10 is Kelly Riley, who, I hear you ask, if you've seen Eden Lek, the character of Jenny, if you've watched Eden Lek, you can't not have felt the performance that both of them give in the movie, the couple. But I pick the woman because of where the movie goes and how the movie ends. But the performance for me, Kelly Riley in that movie as Jenny, who, if you haven't seen the movie, it's a very gritty, very grounded, realistic movie about a couple who are camping and who are set upon by a group of people who just want to basically torture and kill them. And the performance that she gives in this, sort of when she is captured by these people, when she's trying to escape from these people, is just chilling. It's a fantastic understated performance. So that's Kelly Riley from Eden Lake. At number 9, oh, this is going to be great crack. I have got Mylene Jampanoy and Morana Alloy. Oh, Jesus wept. From Martyrs. The two main actresses from Martyrs. I just feel that it is such a raw, gritty, some of the places they had to go in this movie to get across the emotion of the situation and the story that they were telling was just to be able to get themselves into that place, to give the performance that they gave that was so effective, that was so believable. Where they had to go in this movie, hopefully in life, very many people don't need to go, don't ever need to experience stuff like this. Apologies, I have to keep stopping this because my son keeps making a flipping racket up and downstairs. So on to number 8. This is Marilyn Burns. You will know who she plays, I'm sure, if you're a horror fan. She plays Sally in the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the 70s one. Who can argue about that scene at the end in the back of the pickup truck? That just iconic scene where she's covered in blood and she's manically laughing because she's got away and she's just traumatized. But the scene around the dinner table in that movie, which I feel is one of the most iconic scenes in horror, I just feel her performance got across the complete and utter desperation, fear, disgust, just the horror of the situation. It was awful but fantastic at the same time as a horror fan to see that communicated or put across to us. So yeah, Marilyn Burns as Sally is my number 8. At number 7 is, now maybe because I love this movie, but every person that I am putting on this list, what they have in common is they all made me feel something strong. And this is Jeff Goldblum in The Fly, in the remake of The Fly. You're watching this man change into this hideous creature and you can't help but feel love and sadness for him, and his relationship with his partner, played by Gina Davis. And you just find yourself crying at their situation, at the love they have, at what he's turning into, at his desperation, at how it culminates, what ends up happening. I won't say it in case you haven't seen, but I feel Jeff Goldblum just epitomizes a perfect performance in that movie. He has got such soul in his expression, in his face, especially his eyes. He really communicated the characters, everything that he was going through, his situation, the love that he had, the fear that he had, the disgust that he had, everything. So I just love his performance in The Fly. That's my number 7. And number 6 is actually a double one, and this is for Tilda Swinton and Ezra Miller for their We Need to Talk About Kevin. I keep wanting to say there's something wrong with Kevin, but no, it's called We Need to Talk About Kevin. This is a movie that not an awful lot of people seem to like. This is a movie about parents who are very increasingly concerned about their son and their son's behaviour. It's just my kind of film. It's a slow burn, it's psychological, it's something that really could happen. And I feel that Tilda Swinton, the desperation that she has in this as to her son and her son's behaviour, is just amazing. And obviously Ezra Miller as her son in this, to me, they stand out as the two strong performances in this, especially Tilda Swinton as the mother of a son. I just know my son is not completely messed up in the head, but as a parent, the thought of your kids going through this, of you as a parent going through what happens in the movie, it just really hit me on a personal level. So that's Tilda Swinton and Ezra Miller for the We Need to Talk About Kevin at number 6. My number 5 is one that has already been mentioned by Shawn from the Horror Corner. I couldn't not mention it. It's Demi Moore for The Substance. She was robbed of that Oscar. I'm sorry, but Honora in no way deserved to get the Oscar for Best Actress over The Substance. This was Demi Moore's chance, and she has given some amazing performances over the years. Don't forget Ghost back in the day. People don't like G.I. Jane. I personally really enjoyed it. People don't like Striptease. I personally really enjoyed it. I like Demi Moore as an actress. I feel she's very authentic. She's very giving of herself. And I feel like The Substance was her, magnum opus? This was just her role. This was her role to show what she can do and get a message out there as she's doing it. and she should have been rewarded for the Oscar for that performance. In my opinion, she was robbed. So Demi Moore at number 5 for her performance in The Substance. At number 4, this is a bit of an odd one, but it's one of a character that really, really creeps me out, so I've had to put him in here. This is actually John Goodman for 10 Cloverfield Lane. I do like the Cloverfield movies. I know not a lot of people do the later ones, they do the first one, but I feel that the character that John Goodman plays in this movie, again, he's believable. It's something that really could happen. It's not beyond the stretches of imagination. He is just a flawed, evil, also to a degree misunderstood character. He obviously has mental health issues. I feel that John Goodman's portrayal in this movie is kind of like the type of character that you would be absolutely terrified to be alone with, to be confined with, to be stuck with. He just put the chills completely through me in this movie. So that is my number 4, John Goodman for 10 Cloverfield Lane. My number 3 is a modern one. Really shocked also, I haven't heard this one being mentioned yet. It's Mia Goth. I personally love the trilogy, X, Pearl and Maxine. I do really enjoy Maxine, even though not a lot of people seem to. It was my cup of tea. The music, Satanic Panic era, just the whole era of Maxine, I loved it. But obviously, Mia Goth, as her performance in Pearl, is what's getting this one for me. That massive monologue that she has, where you watch it as a movie fan and you're like, oh my god, how is she remembering this? How is she living this through this screen? She's making you really feel her as a character. You can't actually, even though you're completely involved in the movie and the character and you get carried along with the story, as I always do, you actually do feel yourself come out of it to revel at how good she is. You find yourself thinking as you're watching it, my god, you are really good, girl, you're really good. So Mia Goth in Pearl is my number 3. My number 2 has kind of been mentioned by Shann already. She does mention Sissy Spacek in Carrie, and she does allude to Piper Laurie. Piper Laurie is actually my number 2. Carrie, Sissy Spacek is fantastic in that movie. I love Carrie, the original. I think it's a fabulous movie. It's one of the first horrors I ever saw. But her mother is where the fear in that movie lies for me. Piper Laurie's portrayal of Carrie's mother in Carrie. That scene at the end where she's in the... I don't even know if I should say, because I don't know who has and hasn't seen Carrie, but the famous scene at the end where she's pinned in the same position as that statue that's under the stairs. It's just so iconic to me. The lines that I remember from Carrie are always her lines. It's "they're all gonna laugh at you" is the line I always remember when I think of Carrie. I just feel there are so many people out there like Carrie's mother. The sort of like when you're so religious that it goes to just degrees that it shouldn't. You allow it to warp you as an individual. You allow it to come before your love for your children, your care for your children, because you've just got a little bit obsessed. Well, more than a little bit obsessed, but those kind of people, I mean, the sort of like obsession with religion to the point that you're cruel to others. Her mother in that, you just feel for Carrie, you feel for Sissy Spacek's character, and it's no taken away from her performance in this, which is fantastic. But her mother put the fear of God into me when I was younger when I watched this. So yeah, Piper Laurie is my number 2. So the only one that has any position is my number 1, which is my favourite performance in horror, full stop, just because it speaks to me on so many levels, is Kathy Bates as Annie Wilkes in Misery. Misery is one of my favourite films. It's one of the few movies that I can watch over and over again and still feel the same tension and stress. Is Paul Sheldon going to get back into that room undiscovered? Even though I know exactly what happens, I can quote the lines from it. I love her performance. I love the vulnerability of her character in places in that. We know her as this manic, mad, obsessed woman that has kidnapped this man. She's his number 1 fan. But there are scenes in this where she goes from, you know, the cock-a-doodle scene where she's swearing and ranting and raving, and there's a famous hobbling scene that we all know. But there's those little moments where she's staring out the window at the rain and she's saying, the rain, sometimes it gives me the blues. I love it. I love the juxtaposition of the person we know she is and what she's done, because we get an eye into her history also. And then the scenes where there's this real vulnerability, which is what Paul ends up playing into to try to get out of the situation, where he pretends to almost have romantic interest in Annie. And we see this sweet, almost childlike person that comes out. We see this vulnerability of her depression. It's just, everything about that movie just is top drawer to me. I think it's perfect. And definitely Kathy Bates' performance in that is my favourite horror performance that I can think of. So thank you so much to Shawn and to Shann for actually tagging me. I've really enjoyed Jen's and David's answers also. I will try my best to remember to actually put links to the videos I have watched in the comments if you want to check out some other people's answers. I am meant to tag people in here, so let me think of horror fans. I'm going to tag Marcus from X-File 2708. Hopefully I got that right. I will tag Shawn from Lost in the Real. He doesn't do as many videos these days, but I'm going to tag him anyway. I will tag Arran from Screen Stars, Leo from Geek Legion of Doom, and I will tag Ross from Random Horror. So that will do me. That's quite a few tagged there. If you haven't been tagged, you want to do it. I'm always up for doing things I haven't been tagged in. I just jumped to it. I fully intended to do this, and then I watched Shann's Rusting Willpower, Shann's video last night, and she had tagged me. So it was like, yes, I've been tagged. It wouldn't have stopped me. I'd have done it anyway because that's me. So your top 10 performances in horror, folks. Don't worry if you're repeating someone else's. It does not matter because so many of the top tier performances were already mentioned. So I just told you at the start what ones I loved, and I told you some others that maybe hadn't been mentioned. So I hope to see some of you do it. If you do, let me know in the comments. It takes me an age, I realise, folks, but I do get round to your comments. I do eventually get to read them. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Hopefully it won't be too long until I'm back with you with another video. Over and out from Lacey Loves.